BlackRock, their ETF is already within 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, the top 0.2%, not even top 1%. That's how good it is. Top 0.2% of all ETFs this year. And if you look at the year-to-date flow, it is ranked at number 5 already after 2.5 weeks. Not even 2.5 weeks. That is how popular it is. How much have already flown in, right? And that's why I keep on warning you guys. Even though short term we love to see BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK eat up all the Bitcoin out there in circulation, well, it's not meant for them. It's meant for you and I and the people, right? And over time, if we continue to let them do this, they're going to grab up an enormous amount of the supply. And that's not what we want, but it's going to happen. So better load up as much as you can before it happens. Look at now the latest numbers show that BlackRock holds 3.2 billion, more than 3.2 billion. Again, this is within just 17 days. Fidelity isn't too far off, about 2.7 billion. And then ARK and Bitwise, they're close, neck and neck. They're closing in at 700 million. These are all staggering numbers within just 17 days. This is unlike when Bitcoin futures were announced in 2017. The volume was lackluster. It was very little volume right off the bat, but this is totally different. And something else that looks amazing is look at the Grayscale outflow is now down to only 107 million. So BlackRock alone ate up everything that came out from Grayscale easily. So another net inflow of 68 million. This is from yesterday. So, I mean, this is going to continue on. Actually, this is from a few days ago. I guess this is these guys are starting to get a little lazy and they're not posting every single day. But this is still, you get the point. These big boys and institutions will continue to load up. They're not going to stop, right? So make sure you grab some while you can before it's too late, before prices are too high because of inflation and because these big boys have just taken up so much of the supply. The secret time to be buying Bitcoin for massive gains. This has been talked about year after year after year. I'm glad someone actually finally charted it, because every year we talk about this, that Chinese New Year is great for Bitcoin gains. And guess what? It's right around the corner. So in case you didn't know, Chinese New Year is coming in 3 days, February 10th. And according to 10x Research, which finally put everything together, if you buy Bitcoin 3 days before Chinese New Year and sell it 10 days afterwards, your average return is 11%. So there's something that's magical that happens around this time of the year, every single year. Though Chinese New Year changes every single year. It's not the same date because it's using a different calendar. But still, that would mean today is the start of it. We're 3 days beforehand. And for the next 2 weeks, the gains are going to come. So that would be absolutely fantastic. But I don't agree with the second part in terms of selling 10 days afterwards, okay? If you're going to get in, hodl for more gains, right? But 11% ain't too bad. Look at what happened. The last halving year was 2020, 7%. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. The previous halving year before that, 2016, 9%. That's not bad. So let's see what it is this year. I mean, but if you look at the recent years, 2021, 24%. That's crazy. But that's after having a year. But still, 2022, 2023, they were bad years. We still saw 12 and 13% gain. So this time around, we could be seeing more, maybe substantially more. We know that Bitcoin has been going sideways for a while. It's just a matter of just having that next leg up, pump, some shorts liquidated. We're going to be back to 49,000 in no time. What else is there for Bitcoin? 90% of Bitcoiners are in profit. That's probably why Bitcoin holders are so strong, because very little people are in the red right now. And that's fantastic. The highest since October 2021. And had you been DCAing since then, it's 100% guaranteed that you would be in a profit, just like Michael Saylor, right? This is assuming, not assuming, but this is taking into account everyone that's been buying. It doesn't take into account buying and holding and DCAing. But if you've been DCAing since the top, you are well in the green already. Here's something else that's very interesting from Peter Brandt. Now, this guy supposedly is a famous charter that's been trading for decades, like 3 decades. He goes on and off about Bitcoin periodically. Sometimes he's pretty accurate, and sometimes he just turns bearish and disappears and stops talking about Bitcoin. But I got to give him this credit. So back in 2021, when Bitcoin was starting to get hotter, this was January 2021, he tweeted out something that he tweeted before in 2018. Okay, so we're going back years on these. So in 2021, he tweeted out something in 2018 that he came up with, the BHLD pattern, which is bump, hump, lump, and then dump. And he showed this, and you could see how Bitcoin on its way up, I think that's Bitcoin, has been forming the same pattern over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, so he called it in 2018. In 2021, he started calling it again. And now in 2024, he's calling it again, because that's exactly what happened. That 49,000 was our pump. Our fall to 35,000 was that dump. And now we're getting ready for the next leg up. So you got to give him credit for that. He's been right since 2018 about this. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to keep on doing this and then keep on going up and build up, right, along this parabolic rise. So again, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty accurate. And as we continue to do that on a longer scale, we notice that Bitcoin is just moving according to plan. It always has. It's just never deviates. It just really mimics itself. You know, even though the dollar amount may be bigger, the percentages may be a little bit smaller every single cycle, but overall, Bitcoin does the same thing every single cycle. You approach a halving event, you're recovering, and then you have a parabolic break, and then we have moon time. It just happens every single time. And this year is no different. It's going to be no different. There's so many catalysts, some bigger catalysts I've already talked about, but we have some smaller catalysts too. We have another bank failure. That's going to drive Bitcoin upwards. In fact, a lot of you guys forgot, in 2023, you had a big bump for Bitcoin because of all the bank failures. So if New York regional bank, whatever it's called, community bank, goes under, we could see a catalyst too. But of course, the halving event is the biggest catalyst. We have the ETFs that's already soaking up. We still have inflation being a big issue. We have a presidential election. We got Chinese New Year now that might be driving things up in a big way. There's just so many catalysts. And let's not forget a Fed rate cut too that's coming mid-year. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more.